Welcome to C3 TV's Community Spotlight. I'm Brodie, and I'm here with the illustrious, ever-present Jimmy Sherwood.
My hair, it's everywhere.
Welcome back, guys. I'm here again with Jimmy. Thank you again. I mean, we're still here. We've just broken up the videos, but hey.
Yeah, makes things easier.
Yeah. Now, Jimmy, last time we actually did the sign-off, you were mentioning about Twitter and actually on marketing, too. You're very active on Twitter, and one thing that you do on Twitter is advocate for mental health. So, can I get your opinion more on that? Because that's really close to me, and I know it is to you as well.
Well, I mean, there's no secret. I tweet about it quite often, and I'm very active about discussing and talking about mental health. I personally dealt with it since I was like 13 years old. So I've had like 9 years of experience with depression and anxiety. Those are the things that ail me, and it's got to a point where, whilst I still have my bad days, as does everyone, I've gotten to a point where I can deal with it a lot more than I used to, and I'm very, very much of the opinion that people should at least be open about it and open to talk about it, and kind of just media representation, as it were, just kind of show people out in the world that you need help sometimes, and it's okay to need help sometimes.
Yeah. I've said this to you before, and it's pretty much true. You are a role model of the community, whether it's, voice acting community or CCC community. And in today's day and age, with mental health, as it's starting to open up and be more comfortable or correct and accepting to talk about it, you're definitely leading the path and showing that it's okay. Because older people like me, not that I'm calling myself an old person, but a couple years ago, even still, we weren't in that kind of culture. We didn't talk about things. We kept things close to our chest, and I ultimately kind of still do, but I just deal with things a little bit differently. But I really respect and have been drawn to, especially your mental health posts and your mental wellness posts, because they are inspiring, and it's so great what you do.
I guess that's also a key thing as well, is just the remaining optimistic side of things, because you see a lot of people who will use Twitter, and especially when it comes to a bad day, they may end up just spending a lot of their day on Twitter, kind of just shouting at the world almost. Like you see people who are depressed, and they constantly just talk about how they are depressed, and in my opinion, it fuels the depression almost. Like if you're constantly talking about the negative side of things, rather than the whole, okay, I'm depressed, I'm gonna soldier through it, today is gonna be a stronger day, rather than, oh, I'm depressed, looks like I'm gonna stay in bed again. I think it helps kind of motivate you towards a better future, and it builds the foundations almost for kind of getting over. I wouldn't say getting up, because that's, mine just went off again. I wouldn't say getting over it, but it kind of leads the path to kind of, I don't know if you heard that. That was my grandmother.
I did. I thought that was a bird outside or something.
Yep, that was my grandmother making a weird noise downstairs.
Do you need to check up on her or anything, or?
No.
Okay.
I think it's like the time of the day where the carers come around and they do the whole cleaning and all that process. So it's just kind of like nice interruption there.
Hi, Grandma.
But yes, God, lost my train of thought now.
Well, we were speaking about basically fueling your depression, and I think that's a really interesting point that you were making, because I've seen a lot of people, and I think this is where some of the stigma still lies. A lot of people very much use it as an excuse, opposed to acknowledging it and trying to build upon it. They kind of use it as a crutch, and again, like you said, I guess I'm depressed again, I'm going to stay in bed, opposed to, I'm depressed again, but I'm not going to stay in bed, I'm going to fight this, and I'm going to be stronger for it.
It's a lot of self-awareness as well. That unfortunately, a lot of people, it takes a lot of time for a person to understand what they're feeling and then actively combat it. especially when it's a negative thought or a negative trait, as it were. But I think it's all down to just self-growth, and over time people will come to realize it. It's just unfortunately there's no right answer when it comes to mental health. Everybody deals with it a completely different way, but if you have a more proactive mindset, I'm 100% sure that things will start slightly picking up. You know, it's not going to happen overnight. Nothing ever happens overnight.
Right.
But it will start building the foundations for it.
Now, 2 questions for you. You said about 9 years you've been dealing with
yes.
this. So the 2 questions are this. How long, and again, disclaimer, everybody deals with things in their own way. Everyone heals or deals in their own time frame. How long did it take you to learn to be in a comfortable state where you are, in a healthy state, I would say, as well as did you have the same resources that are available now, or what did you turn to?
Well, I've done everything at this point. I've had different types of therapy. I've had CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, which is the traditional sitting down talking about feelings, which has been that was very helpful for a limited amount of time, I'd say, until I got to a point where it became repetitive almost. It was the same old kind of. I remember one of my counselors saying to me, imagine your feelings are an elephant in the room, and you've got to make that elephant smaller. And I was just kind of looking at him and just kind of going, well, no.
Very abstract.
It was a lot of the ways that these counselors have come up with things. It's to me, it just didn't hit me. It just didn't work at all. Then I tried the drug route, I guess is the best way to put it, antidepressants, anti-anxiety. They helped, but the ones that I was on gave me side effects which made things worse. So it was a weird kind of balancing effect. It doesn't happen for everyone. The big thing, especially when you go down that path, is it's a lot of trial and error, and it's a lot of working out what kind of chemical imbalances you have and trying to correct them. But then recently I kind of got into mindfulness and reading a lot about Buddhism and stuff like that, and it genuinely that kind of stuff has helped me a lot more than anything else. It's just being more self-aware of emotions and kind of okay, today is a bad day, that's fine, just roll with the punches and just try to kind of, not get over it, but be aware that this is what's going on, and then actively go against it and actively combat it and actively remain productive and keep doing shit.
I think that's part of the charm of the brand of Jimmy Sherwood. You're very open, you're very comfortable. I don't want to say talkative, I want to say accepting, and like you said before, your DMs are always open to be slid into.
Yes, definitely. I'm the amount of conversations I've had out in the blue with complete strangers, and I'm just okay, this is what I'm gonna I'm in the middle of recording lines, I'm just there chatting to a complete stranger on Twitter, and I'm fine with that. I like being social. Whilst an introvert at heart, it's the beauty of social media is it kind of, I don't know, it feels like a safe way of socializing almost a lot of the time, and it's nice to.
It's like a global village. I don't know if people still say that, but I know they did years ago, and it's nice because
when I was a boy.
I'm starting to feel really out of touch in this interview. I feel like a really, I'm an old man. It's amazing that you and I can have a conversation like this. You're in Wales. I'm in Toronto, Canada. Time zones apart. I'm going to be going to bed soon. You're going to be continuing on with your day.
Yeah, I'm starting my day.
Yet we're face to face and having a really good conversation.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. I mean, just being active in the CCC community, and you see people who are Australian, and you see people who are all across Europe, and it's so nice to kind of have these connections all around the world almost. And even my clients, most of them are American and Canadian, and it's oh, well, thanks internet. I wouldn't have been able to do this without you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. I love that stuff. I love it. I just love it. It's good to just be connected.
Well, guys, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much, Jimmy, by the way, for joining. And I'm actually going to let you do the outro today.
Let's do this. So if you want to check out more C3TV content, just hit the subscribe button. There's going to be links to other videos wherever Brodie puts them on the screen.
Wherever.
If you want to hit me up on Twitter, I assume it's going to be below the entire video.
Yeah.
Just hit me up if you've got questions on marketing, voice acting, etc. My DMs are always open, and I'm happy to just get chatty and answer any and all questions that may come my way. And if you want to check out my YouTube channel and the one video that I've got put on it, you can also do that too if you so desire. Thank you for having me, Brodie. It's been a delight as usual.
Thank you, Jimmy. See you guys.